First thing I want to talk about Eastbay Nationals this weekend, formerly Foot Locker Nationals, taking place in San Diego. This is the final national championship for the high schoolers out there, and a lot of interesting storylines. Gordon, on the girls' side, we could start there. Natalie Cook is going for the Garmin Running Lane Championships and East Bay sweep back to back. She dominated last week in Alabama. So it'll be really fun to see her again in action. Looks like her best competition is probably going to come from someone who did not run at Garmin Running Lane, somebody who was running their regional and looked very good doing it. That's Angelina Perez of New Jersey. If you dive into the speed rankings, those two have the two best marks of the year. Perez committed to Florida, and Natalie Cook committed to Oklahoma State next year.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer we're not going to have any Jenna Hutchins in the 2021 cross country season.
Mm.
But Natalie Cook is running very well, even without someone like Jenna on the scene. And for her to pull off a potential East Bay Garmin double, who had East Bay Garmin double as like a phrase in 2021, like 2 or 3 years ago, because everyone was NXN
Yeah.
Footlocker double,
Yep.
Footlocker
Yep.
NXN double. But now we're in the Garmin
East
East
Bay
Bay
double.
double.
Yeah. Different world. Hey, we have
Different
the
world.
championships this year. Last year we didn't have any because you look at the top returners from the meet, and a lot of it's not very useful because you're going back 2 years, which in high school is an eternity.
Yeah. So hey, you know, I'm excited. Guess what? The audio, it's gone. So my ears are
Perfect.
perfect now. Just so everyone
Good.
knows.
Good. Good. Good.
I'm in a good space now. Yeah.
Everybody's excited about that. All right. I'm looking at the chat right now. People are joining the goons, like a lot of people, according to the chat at least. And it's people.
That's right.
I need somebody. I need somebody. But not going back to Natalie Cook in terms of how she's going to do this weekend in Foot Locker. I mean, she won Gordon by like 19 seconds, right? So she's putting forth some pretty strong performances this year. 16:03. That was the second fastest time ever. Only the aforementioned Jenna Hutchins has run quicker over 5K. So I think we could see something special here. Obviously, completely different course. The Morley Park course in San Diego famously has that big uphill followed by that big downhill. The running lane course was pretty flat, so she's going to have to change up in terms of strategy a bit here, but it will be a true test here to see, okay, can she come back 1 week after this really big race, ran an incredible time? Can she do it again against some of the same people, but also some new folks who didn't race against her in Alabama?
Yeah, and I think she will. I mean, you don't win by that wide of a margin and not have, the ability to follow it up against a different field. Like one of the main competitors is going to be someone that she already beat. So
Mhm,
I think that she's the more heavy favorite compared to on the men's side, which we'll get to.
mhm.
But again, anything can happen. You never know. She could have a bad day, and all of a sudden we have a different champion at the East Bay level. But
Mhm.
right now, if I'm a betting man, if there were odds, I would put a lot of my cash on Natalie Cook. You can't do that legally yet, but one day I'll be able to bet on Natalie Cook winning the double Garmin East Bay Championship. That's a
What do
great
you
parlay.
think? I thought it was interesting that you have Hutchins, who's committed to BYU, but you have Cook, Oklahoma State, and then Perez, Florida. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Uh, Oklahoma State and Florida getting the 2 and 3 runners right now. Especially the Oklahoma State you can kind of see, but the Florida one is kind of like, wow, okay. Chris Zielinski's doing something special out there again, trying to get a great Florida talent, a great talent into Florida. But
Mhm.
normally, we're used to seeing Stanford getting the top one, or obviously the North Carolina schools. But yeah, you kind of seeing some parity going on where some other schools are able to nab some of the top talent, and it's not just all going to Oregon, Stanford, you know,
NC
Colorado,
State,
NC State, North
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
So it's
Everybody was
it's
going to
going to a
North
few other
Carolina.
schools. Yeah.
Everybody was concentrated on North Carolina and North Carolina State. I thought it was interesting. Recruiting is a little bit difficult to follow the past couple of years just because of the pandemic and the comings and goings. You didn't know who was on whose team, who was transferring. I just thought that was interesting. Okay, let's switch over to the men's side, boys side rather, I should say. Okay, so you have um the Newbury Park crew is not going to be there, obviously. They put all their eggs in the running lane. And so we have Gavin Sherry, who did not run at running lane, coming in probably as the top seed. He won the East Bay Northeast Regional. He's from Connecticut. And then you have some guys who did run at running lane and looked pretty good. And one of them was Zane Bergen from Colorado, who broke up the Newbury Park top four by finishing fourth in that race. Then you also have Riley Ho, who was one spot behind Bergen, who came in as the number one ranked runner. And he actually beat Bergen in the East Bay Midwest Regional. It went Ho, Isaiah Sturry, and then Bergen. So Bergen went from third at East Bay Midwest to getting fourth at running lane. So it's kind of difficult to figure out who the favorite should be. And we just put up there some of the picks from those mile split experts. Looks like most people think, well, two of the three think Sherry, Bergen, and Ho also getting mentioned as well. So it looks like it's those three are the popular names here. How do you see this race playing out with the Newbury Park crew not being there, but a bunch of the other top names are?
Yeah, I mean, right now, Gavin Sherry is like just being given the benefit of the doubt because he's the only one that's kind of zagged when everyone was zigging, right? Because Bergen, how all these other guys were at running lane, and he was just keeping it simple, doing what I'm going, staying in the Northeast, doing
Yeah,
that, and winning. He did run a very fast time there. I think he broke Don Cabral's high school record on that
yeah.
course. So he himself is starting to break some records, not just the Newbury Park boys. So he may be looking like, hey, I'm the fastest ever come out of this region. And now I can try to become one of the fastest ever run in San Diego. And I think because his record is kind of flawless, he hasn't really, but he also hasn't really beaten, he hasn't had been challenged by the Newberry boys. So you have that factor. I think at the end of the day, though, he's flawless. There's no reason to doubt him right now. He's one of the top guys in the country. So I'm willing to give it to Sherry as the favorite. Not give him as winning, but to crown him as the favorite. And
Hmm.
then, it's round two for Bergen and Riley to try
Hmm.
to, you know, rematch of between the two of them and say, hey, Newberry's not here now. Now it's just us. Now we're going up against Gavin Sherry. Maybe we can take down one guy as opposed to going up against a group of four. So, but I like the ranking of Sherry, Bergen, and then Howe.
Hmm. Yeah, and Bergen and Howe were real close to each other in Alabama. It's just 1 second. So flip a coin on that one. Let's play more recruiting here. Do you know where these guys are going? These three?
I believe Sherry's going to Stanford.
Sherry's going to
Am I right on
Stanford.
that?
Guess where
Okay.
Bergen is going?
What state's he from?
Colorado.
Going to Colorado?
He's going to Stanford.
Stanford. Okay. Stanford.
Do you know where Riley Ho is going?
North Carolina.
I'll give you a hint.
No.
Not Stanford.
North Carolina?
No.
Oregon.
He's from Michigan. He's going to Michigan
Michigan.
State.
Michigan State. Ooh, Michigan
State.
State. That's a
Yeah.
replacing Morgan Beetlescomb, like that.
Big pickup there. Big pickup there.
Stanford
And
though,
then go ahead.
where's Margot Langen going?
Margot Langen, let me see, is committed
It
to
shows
Villanova.
Villanova. Oh, there we go. Get some Philadelphia love in there.
This could be a
I'm
whole
changing my
show.
picks.
I just click on
Margot for the win. I'm going all in on Margot. He is my. I just feel like he's the guy. He has it in his blood. The Stanford boys. No, I don't believe in it anymore. I'm all in on Margot Langen. I mean, Olivia Ekpone has him finishing fourth. Corey Mole
Mhm.
has him finishing third. Gordon Mack has him finishing first. Margot
He
Langen
was
for the win. I'm doing
he
it.
was second at Northeast, 4 seconds behind Sherry.
Yeah.
Uh,
He was playing it with him. He's like, we don't, hey, top eight qualify. We're good. We're just going to take it easy, let him have his victory by 4 seconds, and then he's going to get him in this one. This is like NAU getting second or third at the regional, and then they come
mhm.
back and win when BYU crushed them. That's what we're seeing right here. Sherry crushed Langen in the regional. Langen's going to have the last laugh.
Upset pick there from Gordon.
Upset
This is
pick.
a fun game where I just click the person, I say, "Guess where they're from?" And then guess where they're going and guess where they're from. The next ranked person, Gitch Hayes, is committed to North Carolina. So there's your North Carolina pick. You kept
Very
mentioning
good.
North Carolina, so I wanted to give you at least one runner that's going to North Carolina, and there it is in Hayes.
Is there
Okay,
anything that Gavin Sherry or whoever the eventual champion here is could do that would be more impressive than Newberry Park? I guess, like, are they just creating an unrealistic standard for these guys? Because, like, are we gonna see a Foot Locker champion and we're gonna be like, yeah, that's great. You didn't
here's the
rank
thing.
14-10, you know?
Here's the thing. Because Newberry Park is so good as a group, we don't really pay attention to them individually
Yeah.
as much. So I think, yeah, I mean, Sherry breaks one of these guys breaks the course record there. That's a historic mark. People would obviously talk about it, but when you're talking about Newberry Park, you're not talking about one guy. You're talking about the whole group. Like in isolation, if Colin Solomon went out and ran 14:03, and if those other Newberry Park guys weren't there, so if he ran 14:03 to Zane Bergen's, let's say 14:09, all the talk would be about Salmon. It wouldn't really be about Newberry Park. But because Newberry
Yeah.
Park goes and scores 29 and has four of the top, what are the latest rankings say? Four of the top 15 or 10? Do they have
Well, they have three of
oh
the
they have
top
Aaron
three now.
and they have Aaron at 9. So because they have four in the top 9, that's just where everybody's focus is gonna go because why wouldn't it? It's ridiculous.
Dude, I'm really liking my. Is it Margot or Marco?
Marco.
Marco. Oh, I've been calling him
Marco.
Margot. I think they spelled his name wrong on the thing. So Marco. Sorry, Marco. I was calling you Margot. I'll be following you in your Villanova days. Dude, he's gonna win. Like, low key, this guy's gonna win. I'm ready
I
for this.
I'm excited. See now you have a real strong reason to watch. So
I do.
East Bay
I'm
champs
excited.
on Saturday. Check it out. All right, let's go to the track.